Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced. Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At InChain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's basically all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Good afternoon, everybody. It looks like we are live at 5 once again. Started bang on 5 o'clock today. What a fantastic start. I know my previous shows have run on for an hour, so I'm going to try and keep this one as short as possible. So let's jump straight into it. Here we go. Looking at the figures today. This is the crypto forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network. Right. Hathor, going big. I mean, I'll have to be careful. That's like 43.7% of the hash rate at the moment. That is a very powerful entity. Whoever or whatever is behind that. But good to see Binance only with just above about 10% of the hash rate. Don't want them on there at all. SBI Crypto on there. F2 Pool, BTC.com. Yeah, all right, okay. That's that done. Let's have a quick look at the markets, or should I say have a laugh at the markets. Let's see who's doing what. And Hex has disappeared once again. What is all that about? Should I refresh it? I wonder if this is why they call it Bitcoin Hex. Just because it keeps appearing and disappearing. Like on the chart. I mean, it would be funny, wouldn't it? That's why they called it Bitcoin Hex. Yeah, oh, and Hex is back. And Arundel, here we go. Check it out. So we said, look, prepare for BitConnect level shilling over the next 2 months. Already BitConnect Trayvon James is on the case. Many more to join. It's not too late. And look, they're all cheering on Hex. Unbelievable. Trayvon James, one of the most prolific BitConnect scammers, is now cheering on Hex. Unbelievable. Look, I mean, literally, like I said, like flies on shit. Oh, here we go. This got it, finally. Patience is virtue. This is the one. So we said Satoshi TV. Yep, you'll enjoy this one. And here it is. 7K. I mean, honestly, some people you literally cannot help. Like I said, literally flies on shit. I think Bitcoin is literally the greatest honey trap ever for criminals. But I mean, these shit coins like Hex are a honey trap for the dumbest of the dumbest scammers. But maybe it's because people don't understand what I'm saying about decentralization that it's not spreading. But it was actually kind of quite shocking listening to both like Jack and Alex, who are both into Bitcoin, and also Randy, non-dual Randy, joined in as well, and they were talking about Bitcoin and how to get it started, and adoption and tech, and and all this kind of stuff, saying, oh, we need this, we need that. And I was like, boys, like you don't, like, literally there is no choice in this at all. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna explain it here, and then I'm gonna edit it in the YouTube video, like this little bit, and maybe I'll send it to him, or I tag them in it or whatever. But it goes like this. This is why there can be no choice in the matter of Bitcoin and money. And it goes like this. If you want to have sovereignty over your data, the method of creating that data and paying to have that data owned by you cannot have a central point of control or authority. So therefore, money cannot have a point of central control or authority. So the question is, and you have to excuse me because I know I've said this to you guys in the chat before, the point is, how can the creation of something not have a central point of authority or control if it's that very central point that created it? Surely they have control of it. Whereas this is the point of blockchain. Blockchain dilutes that control. The more and more miners you get on the system competing for the hash rate means that the hash rate is spread between them, and then with developers, so like the hash rate obviously gets diluted because more and more people economically sustain the chain. But in terms of developers have to be held accountable. And the way they're held accountable is by the chain of signatures. So it just means that no one can do anything on the network that nobody else wouldn't know about. It's that simple. This is why Satoshi designed Bitcoin with a chain of signatures. This is why you must lock the protocol so that it's permissionless and everyone and anyone can build on it. The scale must be infinite so that the miners always have a new market to compete for, because if they don't compete for it, it just means that they're going to have to start taking market share off one another, and the system will eventually centralize. You have to have competition in the system, obviously, between the miners, because if you don't have competition, you get collusion. And then obviously you need a fixed supply so that nobody can control it. This is when George Gelder said, why did he fix the supply? It was to basically make sure that nobody could control it. So the locked protocol is just as important as the fixed supply, so that no one can control them. You hold developers to account, and you put competition in the system. Now with CoreCoin, that's why they implemented SegWit and broke the signatures. And with Bcrash, this is one of the reasons why they keep changing the protocol every 6 months. So it's basically a permission based. And all these other cryptos, they all have centralized starting points. Vitalik Buterin started Ethereum. That means that he has not started anything that America and China could just simply replicate themselves. He started this system. That means that, Donald Trump can start a system. That means that, Xi Jinping can start a system. Like, they have not created anything unique there at all. Same with Charlie Lee. He started a system. Therefore, that creation of the system that system is nothing that anybody else couldn't create as well. This is where Bitcoin and Craig, with what he's done, is absolute genius. In the fact that you've got the neutral growth of the network. In that, he released the white paper on the 31st of October, giving everyone an equal opportunity to start the network themselves. That's when he literally relinquished everything. That was the biggest risk that Craig has ever taken in the creation of Bitcoin, when he simply let it go. But like I said, he let it go and calculated and gave himself the best opportunity of being able to start the network, because it was just as vital to start the network under a pseudonym, because now you've got the Bitcoin white paper written in English, released to the Western world, but authored by a Japanese pseudonym. So what is it? Is it English? Is it Japanese? Nobody really knows. And being Japanese, it's politically neutral, highly developed, technologically advanced, a highly populated country with a language barrier as well. It means he can stay hidden. I mean, now we know that he had to stay hidden for other reasons as well, in the fact that the statute of limitations in terms of creating a currency, I think Craig said it ran out in 2018, so he couldn't be done for breaking. Well, he didn't say it was. He didn't. This is why it's funny. So he didn't say that it was illegal. He just said that it was not legal. So being not legal doesn't mean that it's illegal. It just basically means that it hasn't really been defined yet by law, because what he was creating is a commodity, and this commodity is sovereignty over our own data through having a neutral money. It's an amazing system, but there is no choice in the matter. That is it. It can only be BSV. Like literally all of these hundreds of, all these thousands of shitcoins on the market, literally utterly worthless. Utterly worthless. So there is no point in discussing, whether it might be BSV or not, whether it could be something else that's got a better technology. There is no, the fundamentals are wrong. It doesn't matter how good the technology is if the fundamentals are wrong. It's a bit like saying, who can build this skyscraper faster if we build it with straws? Straws are cheaper, easier to move. That means we'll build it a lot quicker. But what's the point? You're building something that is fundamentally flawed because it's going to get blown over. It's not going to work as a skyscraper. It's going to tip over and, not stand the test of time. This is what it's like with Bitcoin. There is no option. It can only be BSV. So, obviously get building the tech and get people using it, because time is of the essence. But the only thing that we are racing against is the block reward halving. That is it. So if another centralized shitcoin project does come along and just simply, gets the attention and captures the limelight for a little bit, all it does is just simply prevent Bitcoin being developed and, takes us closer to the wire in the fact that it's the block hard that we're racing against. So then you've got resources being distracted by this other shitcoin. But that is it. It is a race against the block halving and literally nothing else. And so obviously in the race against the block halving, you are trying to get as much resources on board as possible and get people to realize. But, as we've seen before, we are in a political game here. It's it's the same people that persuaded, the USA to go to war against, Vietnam just because commies. It's the same people that persuaded us that, a bullet was able to do a U-turn in JFK's brain. It's the same people that persuade us that, grade A structured twin towers can just simply fall straight down. All of this crap. It's those same people that are literally sort of that we are up against. All we've got to do is look at the absolute bullshit that Blockstream come out with, and check this out. So somebody had said here, a MicroStrategy Incorporated, Nasdaq is up 6% today after a Bitcoin move 7%. MicroStrategy holds 38,250 core coin. And Adam Back just said, who needs an ETF? Yeah, just buy MicroStrategy. Here you have, the founder of Blockstream telling people to buy shares in MicroStrategy. How people can't see through this. So my reply to that one, go back there, was simply this one. Who needs core coin? Just buy, use, hodl, trade, short, long, store your value, and do all the shitcoin things you love doing with MicroStrategy. Just trade the shit out of that. Don't bother with core coin because it's literally absolutely useless. And here you've got the founder of Blockstream telling people to buy MicroStrategy. Unbelievable. So we saw this the other day, and look, that's Jimmy Wynn. His profile that has now been that was taken out, and Enchain. So they've brought Enchain back to life, and I think, but Jimmy is still in. I think as Brian had said, Twitter jail, but also iamZatoshi as well is also in this Twitter jail. So let's have a look. Yeah, look at this. Caution: this account is temporarily restricted. Satoshi giveaways, what? And look, so he's following none, so he clearly can't get into it. This is the issue. This is what we're up against. There is no point in screaming and shouting about Twitter because you'll never change their mind. Jack Dorsey is a multi-billionaire, on a massive ego trip. And if you want to, use his platform, you're going to have to bend over and take what he gives you. That is it. This is the issue. And again, this is one of the reasons why I actually screen all of my all of my followers, because this was kind of like happening to my previous profile. So I was just like, you know what, I don't want this. The more attention that you start getting, the type of attention that you're going to start attracting is the wrong sort, which is what's happened here. So if Satoshi gets his profile, you know, banned or taken down like this, what can he do with it? It's useless. You know, so it's kind of like, obviously he's done really well getting up to like, you know, 21,000 followers, but what's the point in having 21,000 followers when nobody can follow you or see what you're doing? You know, this is kind of like the approach that I took, and I was like, right, I need to start screening people so this doesn't happen to me. You know, and it's a shame because he was literally just getting a mention in CoinGeek. Check it out. This is an article. And I don't think it's a coincidence that his profile literally has just been taken down when he gets such a great article by CoinGeek 6 hours ago. There we go, registered, swiping to send, on the way, turning the volume up. Got it. I'll hold it there because we'll be going 45 minutes. So as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, joy given, same time tomorrow. Catch you later. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity for just 20 cents. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below. Bitcoin, one world, one chain.
Yeah! One vision.